Earth is a diverse planet with millions of different types of fungi, plants, microorganisms, and animals. The range and diversity of living organisms increases as we increase the area of our observation. Each different kind of plant, animal or organism represents a species. In other words, species is a group of similar individuals sharing a common gene pool and interbreeding freely, producing fertile progeny. Today, there are about 1.7 to 1.8 million species known to us, and this number is ever increasing as we explore new areas along with the old ones. The number and types of living organisms on the Earth is referred to as biodiversity. It is common to find living organisms being known by different local names in different parts of the world. To avoid this confusion, the name of a living organism must be standardized such that it is known by the same name the world over. This process is known as nomenclature. However, to name an organism, we need to know its correct description and to what organism the name is attached to. This is known as identification. To make the process of identification easier, scientists have assigned a scientific or biological name to every known organism. The scientific names for plants are based on the principles and criteria given in the International Code for Botanical Nomenclature, or ICBN, and for animals in the International Code for Zoological Nomenclature, or ICZN. The procedures to assign a scientific name to an organism have been agreed upon by scientists and biologists all over the world. Scientific names help avoid ambiguity as each organism has just one name. However, certain universal rules are followed while providing a scientific name to a known organism. For example, the scientific name for the sacred fig, commonly known as the peepal tree in India, is Ficus religiosa. Here, as you can see, the scientific name has two components: the generic name and the specific epithet. Ficus represents the genus or the generic name, while religiosa denotes the specific epithet. This system of representing a name with two components is called binomial nomenclature and was devised by Carolus Linnaeus, also known as the father of modern taxonomy. Sometimes, the name of the author who first described the species is written at the end of the specific epithet. For example, in Ficus religiosa Linn, Linn is the abbreviated name for Linnaeus. Moreover, scientific or biological names are generally in Latin or derived from Latin, irrespective of the origin of the organism. Also, when a scientific name is handwritten, both the words in the name are underlined separately, whereas when printed, it is in italics to indicate its Latin origin. Finally, the first word of the genus starts with a capital letter, and the specific epithet starts with a small letter. Apart from assigning scientific names to living organisms, they must be aptly organized for easy study. The process of grouping anything into convenient categories based on easily observable characters is known as classification. For example, plants, animals, roses, flowers, and dogs are groups that we can easily recognize. Each group has specific characteristics and are convenient categories that help us to study organisms. The scientific term given for these categories is taxa. Here, each of the groups, namely mango trees, apple trees, neem trees, cats and dogs, are all taxa. However, cat is a mammal, and all mammals come under animals. Therefore, a cat, mammals, and animals represent taxa at different levels. This process of classifying living organisms into different taxa based on their characteristics is called taxonomy. Taxonomy isn't new to humans. For ages, humans have been interested in knowing about different types of organisms and the relationships among them. This branch of study is known as systematics, which means systematic arrangement of organisms. However, today, systematics also includes the identification, classification, nomenclature, as well as evolutionary relationships among organisms. Therefore, in this diverse world, it is important to classify and name living organisms for their easy identification and study.